Go.
Hello everyone, it's me again, Alan, here with another unboxing. Today I'm going to be looking at the brand new Dystopian Wars from War Cradle Studio. I just saw this in my local game shop, and I'm so excited to see Dystopian Wars. It is the game that originally made me interested in miniature war games. I kind of lost that love for a while until my girlfriend helped me rediscover miniature wargaming, and I'm so excited to be getting back into Dystopian Wars after it has been discontinued by, what's it called? Spartan Games, thank you, Hanna. And now has been picked up by War Cradle Studios. What they've done with the lore, I don't care for that, so I'm going to pretend like it's the old lore. So, yeah, no, because you'll be able to tell that in the different names. Apparently this is for use with Enlightened and Commonwealth. Commonwealth hasn't changed, the Russian Commonwealth of Nations. And the Enlightened were the Covenant of Antarctica, the technocrats of the South Pole, who are apparently now religious technocrats, I believe. Kind of stinks of the AdMech, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, you know what? I think I'm being a little unfair. I'm willing to give the new lore a little bit of a shake. And honestly, if anybody at War Cradle is watching this, please feel free to send me some more kits. I'd be happy to open them on camera for you, because I don't think you guys had an official unboxing. Unless I just missed that on your website. Now, let us get into this. I must say, this is a beautiful packaging for it. That is something the old Dystopian Wars always lacked, was good packaging. And the Hunt for Prometheus really nails it. It shows the two factions fighting, and in just the art itself, it shows the contrast of the factions between the crackling arcane technology of the Antarcticans and the, firepower and the belching smoke of the Enlightened, or not the Enlightened, the Commonwealth of Russia. And we see the beautiful logo of War Cradle Studios. I must give them props because that is a little beautiful thing there. There's nothing on the inside of the box, I should add, unlike some of the latest GW things. So, let's get right off to this. You start off with a little range ruler, it looks like. Looks like you're supposed to clip this apart and use... This one appears to be like a bombardment one. You use this for turning, I assume, and then this is your range movement, or your movement rangefinder, if I'm not mistaken. Then you get some bases. I don't know what the bases are for at the moment, but... And then you start getting your warships. These are beautifully detailed. Like, every bit as detailed as the old resin and metal sculpts, which I must really take my hat off to them, because that is something that I was worried about. And here's a small token with a ship on it, randomly. And these are beautiful ships, all multi-part with several different weapon options from everything I've seen online. You get all the technocratic ships and the latest in the Russian line. If I recall, Russia was introduced just as the game was starting to get discontinued, unfortunately. I also have a Halo ground battles to play at some point with Hanna. That was also sadly discontinued right as Spartan Games. Actually, fun fact, I actually applied and almost got a job at Spartan Games about 3 months before it closed. So I am really glad I did not get that, in retrospect, as I used to live in the UK. I think I've mentioned that in the past. These are some cool dice, all with like unique sides and unique effects and such. I'm interested to see what those do once I get into the rules. And then we've got all sorts of specialized dice. Again, pretty cool. You can get 2 bags of that. Looks like it's 1 bag for each player, on the assumption that you split this with someone. So that is really actually considerate. Even like Games Workshop games, and I consider them kind of the poster child of quality these days, after Battlefront's recent fall from grace when it came to starter sets. They're clawing their way back up, but we'll work on that. But this includes 2 of everything except for the templates, and honestly, that's amazing. It's way better than what Fantasy Flight does, or now it's Atomic Mass Games does. It's better than what Battlefront does. It's better than what GW does. So yeah. And here we see one of their new resin sculpts. I believe this is supposed to be the Russian Dreadnought, as judging purely by the art style. That is absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the Imperial Russian seal on the front. Needs a little bit of cleanup, but what resin model doesn't? And you get the
beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. I believe Hanna is going to be doing a kit review of these at some point as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be exciting. And you see the big Russian tower on top. And then you see... in the back here. Their big engine compartment thing. And then you put the turrets from one of the plastic sprues, I believe. The ones you're not using for the smaller ships. They are all meant to be modular, so you can use your upgrades from your plastic on your larger resin dreadnoughts, which is pretty damn cool in my opinion. You can tell how much I'm gushing over this because of how much I spend compared to the usual time. There's a big question marker, always important in a starter set. Doesn't include one of these, you're done for. And here we have the Technocrat of Antarctica's, or the Covenant of the Enlightened Dreadnought. Which appears to be, just as big, almost just as big, and wider, with a big sprue of resin parts. I will bring this up to the camera to show off a little more. Again, it needs a little bit of cleanup, but I admire how little cleanup this needs. It is really astounding. And then it's got the big shield generator on top, the engine compartment, and then some extra armor bits that you can attach to it. Just absolutely beautiful, and again, you include some weapons from your smaller ships, and this looks like to be another Antarctican dreadnought. Slightly different. Interesting that it has one of these appears to be glued in rather than molded on, but I believe one of these is the actual Prometheus itself. Can't say which one, but get all the sprue bits, and then all of our other bits for the other dreadnought. It appears that it is meant to be carrying something, I believe. Probably an upgrade of some kind. And you get the same like shield generator bridge type. That's the other one. Fascinating looking little dreadnoughts. Then you get War Cradle's Dystopian Age tokens. The Hunt for Prometheus campaign. Cold Rendezvous. Hold on a second. Interesting. The Russian commander in this is a woman. That is really refreshing to see. I believe one of my only complaints about the original Dystopian Wars is how few roles they had for women. Though they certainly had more than in real life, of course. But it was an older game, and admittedly, it was a different time. But these seem to have corrected that. Unfortunately, unlike what Battlefront does and what Games Workshop does, these guys did not include a little baggie for the rules book. If there is anybody from War Cradle Studios watching, I would really recommend even just a little cheap plastic baggie like this around the rulebook, because as you can see, it has a little bit of damage to it. Though I'm saying that like I'm not going to be buying a hardcover Dystopian Wars rulebook.
Warlord doesn't do it.
Warlord doesn't do it?
They don't put their rulebooks on baggies.
That's true. Warlord games as well, and I'll be getting it. Oh yeah, no, they like totally thrashed our American Civil War one. Forgot about that. And yeah. And that is a hell of a long rulebook. But I love me some crunchy rule. Oh, okay. This is lore. Okay.
Half rule, half lore book.
So yeah, this is rules. And then this is lore. You know, somebody liked the sound of their own writing. Yeah, I'm not... I mean, let's see. You got the Covenant of the Enlightened, which we already know about. I'm just seeing if there's any big things from new lore. It looks like there was... they're now under the command of a man named Markov, Edgar Markov, from what I understand. He's a little-known character. You might have heard of him. There's the Empire, which appears to be Sino-Japanese. Who once claimed the kingdom and empires of the Orient. Ooh, maybe don't use that wording next time. I mean, I get that it's a historical term, but how about the kingdoms and empires of the Far East? I think that's a fair rewrite. And they pale in the dominant power of the West. Just saying, it's a little bit cringe. Considering that in the old lore, the Dragon Empire of the Blazing Sun rivaled Europeans in all ways except for manpower. There's the Sultanate of the Osman, which, it just calls itself the Sultanate and has a big star and crescent. Have laid claim to the holiest lands of the world and defended them against the infidel raiders and thieves. That pretty much sums up the Western powers. Grown idle and lazy with the wealth of their realm, the Sultanate for a while appeared in danger of collapsing under the pressure of foreign enemies. Now enriched by the font of knowledge unlocked by the new learning, the Sultanate has been revitalized as a world power. Huh. Interesting. They appear to be the Ottomans, but basically relearning everything in the new realm. Hey, look, it's the British. They're here to show up and tell you that all your cultural artifacts now belong in their museums.
All your culture are us.
Yeah. A dominion upon which the sun never sets, the Pax Britannica, the crown invocate. Such statements once shook palaces and humbled kings. Those days are now slowly slipping away like a half-remembered dream. Well, yeah, that pretty much sums up Britain. The Union of Federated States. Well, which one is it? Is it a union or is it a federation? Pick your poison, guys. Tarnished by a recent civil war and brutalized by the horrific technologies it's unleashed to claim victory, the Union is a dark reflection of its former glory. Really, it's a dark reflection of the genocidal slavers of North America. It's gotta be one fucking depraved nation right there. The conquest and subjugation of the former Confederacy in the Deep South, as well as the new opportunities opening in the West, stand as grim consolation for the Union's war-wearied soul. The Union cheer the formidable military might of their country with now wheels that will never again have to pay the brutal price that freedom demands. Yes, the freedom for Native Americans, Mexicans, and so on and so forth. There seems to... it's the American flag. And it appears to just have the colonies. The Commonwealth of Russia. Tempted by revolution, civil war, and failed conquest, the fires forged Commonwealth spans... Interesting. It's a Commonwealth of Russia, Poland, Lithuania, and Mongolia. All working together. Because we all know that if there's one thing Poland and Lithuania loves, it's Russians. And also, I just kind of want to point this out because it's weird. The American one has their flag, but no other one has their own flag in the background. Like, if you look at the text, you see the American flag behind it. I'm like, this isn't an American company, I don't think. I think it's a British company. So I don't get that. King Nicholas, apparently. Hopefully he's a little bit better than the existing Nicholas in real life. The Imperium, presumably it means the Imperium of Mankind, is seen in Warhammer 40k, judging by the architecture on their ships. Kaiser controlling everything from the Baltic to the warmer climates of the Adriatic. Apparently, Germany conquered Austria in this one. I mean, that sounds silly and obvious to our modern ears, but Austria-Hungary was a big power in the old Dystopian Wars, if I recall. And again, no flag in the background. And what's up? Iron Tribute. We get the Latin Alliance with a French fleur-de-lis. A new power rising. This is actually the one I've been looking for, because this is the one that is brand new for their lore. The Latin Alliance did not exist in the old lore. Latin America was divided between the Federated States of America and the Empire of the Blazing Sun. Though I believe there was Brazil that led a quasi-Gran Colombia type thing. A new power is rising. The tattered glories of old, refreshed with new triumphs and ideas, revitalized by strong leadership and enriched with the fruits of new technology. The Republic of France has united the League of Italian States, the sovereignty of Spain, and the Kingdom of Portugal into a formidable alliance that is determined to take a seat at the table of world powers. So, apparently South America is just part of Spain still. And Spain is part of France, as is Portugal and Italy. You're better than Napoleon. Okay, as I said, I'm going to give that lore a fair shake. And, okay, fair shake is over. I I don't know, it's different. I guess you always kind of hate what's different than the things you loved. I really want to see more of like Robespierre style Republic of France. But, you know, we can't always get what we want. But nevertheless, from what I've glanced at for the rules online, it looks really good. The actual game itself looks amazing. So hats off to War Cradle Studio for the actual balance of the game and such. And I look forward to trying it out. And yeah, that's all I have to say on the matter. As I've said before, like it if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it. And for once, I can say if you like the look of this thing is in stores and available online. It's not discontinued like everything else Dystopian Wars. So yeah, if you like this, go check it out. If you order it from from War Cradle Studios, go ahead and include in your order notes that Alan sent you and let them figure out what that means. And if we get enough of them to try and figure out what it means, maybe we can get a sponsorship for the channel or something. Wouldn't that be a boon? Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next video. Ta-ta for now.